our findings are interesting, I should say. For one, productivity longer term, it's actually better if there's an office involved.
Yeah, hi, Melissa. So that's one of the interesting things we saw. There's a lot of studies out there that show differing results for productivity. If you look at it very narrowly, for instance, in individuals from productivity doing a specific task, it can go up. But the minute you start taking a step back and looking at overall productivity for a company, that's where elements like collaboration, teamwork, creativity that comes from having people in a centralized office location. So that's one of the key reasons why, the evidence is suggesting that we will not go wholesale into a remote work situation at the expense of commercial real estate.
And you also found that millennials prefer being in an office setting because the mentoring experience may be more robust than if they're just sitting at home in their studio apartment alone. At the same time, Blair, is this all a way of actually saying that commercial real estate is going to fare better than what a lot of people are expecting? Because the assumption has been that there are going to be so many companies that will be forced to downsize that commercial real estate will be in trouble, as opposed to choosing there being a choice involved, which is what this study sounds like.
Yeah, and I think that's it. It's important to make the distinction between potential reductions in footprint that are caused by economic reasons versus this piece, which was more around the implementation of remote working causing a long-term structural shift in the use of office. One thing I think you have to bear in mind is there are structural impediments to a sea change happening overnight. You look at the long-term nature of office leases. For small to medium users, it's 9 years. For large office users, it's 12 years. And it's got a very gradual roll profile. So, for instance, less than 20% of all office leases roll in the next 18 months. So a minority of companies will actually be thinking about whether or not they will change their office footprint as a result of what's happened in the last 6 months within the kind of hangover period of what's going on right now.
So, Blair, even if I buy your thesis that commercial real estate will persist and survive in some form, and that there isn't going to be a wholesale migration to only a work and home environment in knowledge-based industries, I can't help but notice that you're working, I presume, out of your home or your apartment. At Moody's, what % of people are going into the office today, and how quickly do you expect to be back in the office? And when you get there, what percentage of the people who used to be there do you think will still be there?
Well, yes.
6 months from now, 2 months from now.
I'm working from home right now and have been, like most people, since early March. For us, the timeline is not established yet, but I think most of the announcements you've seen from general line companies have been it's going to be sometime Q3, perhaps even Q4. Really, I think what we were trying to do with this is look beyond the immediate term and look to what are the long-term implications for this. And I think we do believe that for health reasons, we've gone through this work remote experiment, but when we can return to the office and people feel comfortable using mass transit again, will people? And I think the suggestion is that they will, because of the productivity benefits and from having multiple people in the same environment.